Hey there! So today we have another review. This is courtesy of Jessica. Sent this package. Well, she works for a PR company, I think. She said, Darwin, hope you've been well since we last spoke. Wanted to send you some Montucky cold snugs to test out. Can't wait to what you hear. XXMCS and Infamous PR. So, I mean, I've heard about it through the grapevine. I mean, obviously I've never had this beer. It's actually brewed out of... Okay, so... It's Montucky Cold Snacks is like a Bozeman, Montana kind of brand, but it's brewed out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. So I'm curious who's brewing it for them. But yeah, it's one of those regional lagers, and it's apparently got just big deal. Like I think like a couple years ago, they sold 1 million cases of this guy for like a non-big macro brand like Budweiser, Miller, blah blah. That's a big deal, selling that much amount of American Light Lager, pretty much. I will say I had to reshoot this because I was looking at the packaging, and I was like, I can't find the ABV. I had to look it up. It's 4.1%. It is officially nowhere on this can. And I don't want, it's not going to affect my review of the beer, but like, no offense, guys, you got to post the ABV. Like, what do we, and no offense, the worst part is it says 8% back to local causes. I mean, how about this? It's way better, and it's just way easier. Like, no offense, that's so easy to confuse somebody. Because if you don't have the ABV posted anywhere and then all you see is 8%, granted, it's good that way. I'd rather have people drinking a beer that's 4% and they think it's 8%. It's super dangerous if you do it the other way. There's no way you can, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. It's got to be. Anyway, let's talk about this beautiful can. If you guys know more about Montucky Cold Snacks, like, please let me know. The 4.2%, about 4.1%. So yeah, we're right in the ABV of like Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light, all that good stuff. So beer is very pale. I mean, it's a straw, it's a lighter than straw color. It almost looks like it's just grape juice. Wonderful, good amount of head created for American Light Lager. Yeah, looking pretty good. Ooh, okay, grainy malt, a little bit of that kind of like I mean, some people call it acetaldehyde, but it's just fermentation character. It's got this like a little bit of green character to it. Reminds me a little bit of like green melon, green apple kind of thing, but like a lot of the American Light Lagers have it. It smells a little bit, almost a little bit ricey. Yeah, I'm curious if there's rice in here for the natural American Light Lager. That would be appropriate, but yeah. Yeah. Super watery. There's a fruity sweetness up front that's quite nice. And I was calling like, yeah, there's a, I was calling like some fruitiness up front. There's a little bit of this kind of like like white grape juice or green apple, like apple juice, kind of like Mott's apple juice or Welch's white grape juice kind of thing going on. Yeah, a little touch of sweetness up front. Got a grainy kind of character in the middle. Got kind of a little bit of like water crackers, white dough. Really no hop character to speak of. Really aqueous mouthfeel. But I want to say, excuse me, the good thing about this beer is that a lot of the light lagers I find, especially like I remember just reviewing Bud Light a few years ago, and man, that thing's just gross. This is just as watery, I mean, it's appropriate. It's supposed to be crushable, just as watery as your other American Light Lagers. But I want to say I find there's a good amount less kind of like weird, funky all flavors. A lot of these beers have, the American Light Lagers and American Lagers have a lot of gross flavors in them, especially like if you look for them. There's advances from putting this freaking beer in a teku. I'm trying to like dissect the beer. It's really lacking in that, which is quite nice. Because you're not really meant to drink it like the way I'm supposed to do it. Like, no offense, like, like do this. I like that. It's refreshing. It's got a little bit of fruity sweetness to it, a little bit of fermentation character, but the big one, again, like the lack of like quote unquote bad flavors. A lot of these beers get like super kind of like overly weird fruitiness and this kind of like character, fruity, like almost like rotten fruit kind of character. A lot of them have this kind of like just, I don't think it's meant to be, but like this almost oxidative character where it's like it's stale and old, like you ever like smell some things that are just like old, right? Like old leather and old basement and wet cardboard and like these like a lot of just like grossness that doesn't make it refreshing and delicious. And most people don't notice them because you drink it ice cold and then you just drink it out of a can. But really dissect the beer, you do find a lot of flavor. Um, yeah, honestly, do you know what this actually sort of reminds me a little bit of? It reminds me a little bit like if they made like a, I bet these exist, and they have to exist, like a light Japanese lager. And the Japanese lagers are the macro lagers, some of my favorites, right? You know, you got the European ones, the American ones, you got the Caribbean ones, you got Japanese ones, there's Chinese lager, there's Korean lager, you know, right? Like every culture has like some kind of international / American light lager ish kind of thing. The Japanese ones tend to be some of my favorites. But as a compliment, like those beers are, in my opinion, generally just pretty good with like not having all flavors, and this one sort of does that. Yeah, it's nice. Again, I've done these reviews before. I remember doing PBR Light, and then I bought a bunch of other PBR, or a bunch of other macro lagers, and then side by side, you know, things sort of fell apart. But just having it right here, I like it. Yeah, touch of grainy sweetness, a little bit of fruit character. Again, mostly devoid of like really nasty, kind of weird all flavors that these light lagers have. So, completely fine. Yeah, if I had to spend a night drinking the light lager, I would definitely right now I definitely pick this. Like, you know, and I don't have, you know, availability to it, but if you get Montucky cold snacks, let me know. Like, what's the vibe on this guy? Like, you know, some places it's just like boom, like it's just popular. Like for me, New York, it was Genesee Cream Ale, Narragansett, PBR is not really New York based, but Genny Cream was a big one. Genesee Cream was a big one. We got a little bit of Narragansett here and there. But then obviously a lot of places, Miller High Life or PBR. But right, like the regional one was Genesee Cream Ale. You go to freaking Seattle, it's Rainier, right? And in some places in the Midwest, it's like Pennsylvania or wherever, it's like Hams, and there's whatever. There's all the kinds of like, you know, regionality to it. You guys post in the comments if you know more about that. I'm not really too personally familiar with that kind of like homerism on Montucky cold snacks, but it's very good rating. What does a good macro lager get? I mean, I'm not like fighting to, you know, get more of this beer, but it's fine. Let's go with the 79. 79. C plus is a good rating for a macro lager. Yeah, I think so. The gross ones definitely got to be way lower. So, cheers. Don't think of 79 as like a low rating. It's a good macro lager. It's very tasty. Macro style lager. Cheers later. Thank you to Montucky Cold Snacks. Thank you, Jessica.